All right. Hello, my name is Miss Kerrigan. Welcome to my TED Talk. Um, okay. So we're going to talk about the fall of the Roman Empire. Very exciting. Um, so if we're thinking about the build-up to the fall of the Roman Empire, and you should recognize this Thomas Cole painting, Decline. Um, if we think about the time leading up to that, things were looking pretty good for Rome early on in their empire, right? We had the Pax Romana, which means Roman peace, lasted from Augustus, which was 27 BCE, to Marcus Aurelius, 180 CE, so a little over 200 years. The rulers after that, however, weren't able to manage how big the empire had gotten. Think about how Trajan and Hadrian had really expanded and then fortified the empire with Hadrian's Wall, and now the rulers afterwards do not have that same ability, so the empire starts to decline. There were several different types of problems that led to the fall of Roman Empire. One type of problem is the economy. If we think back to like our pirates charts, right? The economy is something that drives civilizations. Now it's being torn apart. So trade was being disrupted by hostile tribes and pirates. There were no new gold or silver sources because they weren't expanding anymore. It used to be that when they expanded, they would just take the gold or silver from the next guy. Now that they're not expanding, they basically have a limited supply. And so taxes are going to increase because they can't fund anything with the money that they're getting from other territories. And to make things all the more worse, soil in Italy and in Western Europe starts becoming less fertile, which means that it doesn't grow as crops don't grow as well. And so not only do you have increased taxes, the economy is being strained, but there's also less food. So that's not good. Political problems, number one on the Pirates chart. Citizens start becoming less patriotic, and the reason for that is that the turnover between the emperors becomes more and more quick, right? We talked about how the emperors were more likely to be assassinated than anything else, and they're turning over in 1 to 5 years on average. And the government starts to be controlled by the military, which is pretty necessary because you need a strong military in order to rule. Also, you've got emperors like Caligula or Caracalla who are murdering or raping or impoverishing their people. So that's really not good either. General contentment is going to fall, and people are going to be less willing to do something for an emperor that is terrible to them. Also, social problems. People are losing their confidence in the empire. Again, it's no longer expanding. Things are not looking so great at home, and so people are starting to get a little bit worried. Also, the gap between the rich and the poor is growing wider. So the patricians are getting more and more land, more and more power, and the plebeians are getting less and less land, less and less power. Not only that, but people are not interested in helping out. Public affairs means things like participating in the government or doing things to help the empire, and people are just not interested in that anymore again because they lost their patriotism. All right, I should probably use my pointer. So another thing that helped with the fall of the Roman Empire is the military. There were fewer and fewer funds for defense. And because you had people who were not as willing to join the army, and you're not expanding anymore, so being in the army is no longer as fun, right? You're not winning anymore. You're just on the defense. You really have less and less soldiers, and so they start having to hire mercenaries, which are foreign soldiers who are hired and will be paid for their services. The issue with having a mercenary is that they're not loyal to the Roman Empire. They're loyal to the money that you're paying them. And so if someone else can pay them more, they'll take that, right? If they're about to die, they probably don't care if they give up secrets to the Roman Empire because they're not loyal. And so they're not as disciplined and they're not as loyal, and so the army gets weaker and weaker. So there's a couple of reforms that are attempted during this decline of the Roman Empire. The first is Emperor Diocletian. He became emperor in 284 AD, and he was really kind of dictatorial. He ruled with an iron fist, he limited personal freedoms, he was trying kind of the all hands on deck approach. He did double the size of the army, and he tried to control inflation. Inflation is when essentially it costs more to buy things that you used to be able to. And that's again because there's not as much gold or silver in the economy. And his solution was to divide the empire in two. He noticed that the East was mostly Greek-speaking and the West was mostly Latin-speaking. Also, the East was doing better financially than the West. And so he divides it in two, and he gives the western half to his friend Maximian. Obviously, he takes the better half for himself. So he divides the empire in two. Hopefully that will solve the problem. And you can see here, this purple is the eastern half. They're doing better, right? Here's Greece. Here's Byzantium, which later becomes Constantinople. You've got Jerusalem. You've got Egypt. So this half is doing relatively well. The western half, here in yellow, is falling apart. And this is what Maximian gets. So, great friend, Diocletian, thanks a lot. About 100 years later, after the empire has been split, 50 years later, wow, that was tough. After the empire has been split, Emperor Constantine comes in. He is the one that we talked about back in our Christianity unit. He embraced Christianity because he had a vision before battle that if he put sign of the cross on all of his soldiers' shields, he would win. So he was the first Christian Roman emperor, and he issued the Edict of Milan, which allows Christians to practice more freely, not be, like hung on crosses in the road. And he moves the capital of the empire east to Byzantium, and he builds a new city. But he also reunites the empire. So this city obviously is later named Constantinople. He's a good guy, but he had to give himself some credit, right? And the Eastern Empire flourishes due to trade and wealth, and things are looking up. But then the Western Empire really starts to fall apart. Constantine, obviously, when he died, gave the empire, split it up between his three sons, and basically the empire fell into ruin again. So some of the things that happened in the Western Empire were worsening internal problems, like we said, economic, political, military, and social. The separation of the Western Empire from the wealthier East kind of creates this conflict. And we have outside invasions, so that's not helping either. So here is a fun table about the fall of the Roman Empire, kind of exactly what we went over. These are all contributing factors, so these are kind of the more long-term factors that we just talked about. The immediate cause, and what most people will say caused the fall of the Roman Empire, was the invasion by Germanic tribes and Huns. And you read about that, how the Germanic tribes would ruin the aqueducts, right? And then all of a sudden people can't drink and the population falls by 99%. That's exactly what caused the downfall, except it couldn't have happened if all of these things above had happened first. So, Germanic invasions, we say Germanic, but really a lot of these invasions are starting elsewhere. So some of the impetus for this, some of the cause of this actually started way out in Mongolia when the Huns were expanding. The Huns expanded to Germany and then pushed the Germanic tribes, into Italy. So the Germanic tribes weren't necessarily like, oh, let's go get Italy, but they're also moving out of necessity. The last Roman emperor, Romulus Augustulus, who just creatively named himself after Romulus, the founder of Rome, and Augustus, the founder of the Roman Empire, ousted Germanic forces in 476. He was ousted by Germanic forces in 476, and that is the official end of the Roman Empire by most historians' account. Here you can see all the invasion routes, so Rome was just really attacked from all sides, and you end up having the Huns come in here too, and the Slavs and all that, so just things are not looking great. The result is that the Western Empire, this half, falls, but the Eastern Empire continues to thrive, and we call this the Byzantine Empire. Now back then, no one was like, all right, now it's 477, now we're the Byzantine Empire. That didn't happen. They still considered themselves the Roman Empire. But historians looking back have seen such a break from what was the Roman Empire that we now call it the Byzantine Empire, because it started around Byzantium, which again now is Constantinople. All right, so that's it. That's the decline of Rome. You're going to be doing a fun DBQ on the decline of Rome that goes over some of these points that we just talked about, and you can use anything you learned in this slideshow as evidence on your DBQ. Yay, learn it!